We've talked about when when women go bad, uh, it things get loud. When men go bad, cities burn to the ground. And so in this kind of hyper feminist culture we're living in right now, it's like, oh, if you say that, you're demeaning women. But no confident, capable, competent women think that.
That's real.
It's only the insecure women
Wow.
who think that. And so the most competent, capable women I know want their men to be good men,
There you go.
because that's how God's made it. That's how God's wired it. God made man first, and he gave them the responsibility in the garden, name the animals, caretake the whole thing. And then he realized, okay, this guy isn't going to be good by himself. He needs a helper. So he gave him Eve. Now they're complete. It's not to say that man or woman have different roles in terms of value. They have different roles in terms of function. And so, equally and distinct, equal in value, distinct in function.
Equals, but not equivalence.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so God has given, and this is the big deal. It's not that men have taken. God has assigned the role of headship, which is the leader. And so if you fail as head, it's not as if the wife can be head. It just means the body won't have a head. A wife can't be something that God didn't assign her to be, and she can't make up for what a man isn't doing. And so when men abdicate or abuse their role, everyone
That's right.
suffers.
That's right. So two primary implications, and let's dive into parenting. You may be, if you're listening to that, you may be going, "Wow, why are you talking about that?" Well, the reason is, hey, if the husband is designed to be the head of the family, as goes the husband, so goes the family.
Yep.
So when we talk about parenting, hey, husbands that are listening, fathers that are listening, the primary onus is on you.
That's right.
The primary onus is on us.
That's
We're
right.
fathers.
That's right.
So it's like, hey, man, don't let step number one. Don't think parenting is women's work.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to do the work. She'll take care of the kids. No. God put you in the spot to be
right.
responsible for the direction of your family.
That's right.
And the other thing that I just want to click on, but you're not saying, Josh, you're not saying that the woman is lesser, or the fact that the man is the head, that diminishes the role or power of wives and mothers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far you want to go down this road, but it's only insecure women who think that. I mean, the strongest, most competent and capable women I know, they don't want to function outside their lane. Hey, do your job, bro. Lead.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to do my job.
Yeah.
And so when God again assigns the wife as well as helper, he's placing a mantle of dignity on her, like a deified dignity, because the Holy Spirit is called our helper. Yeah, so it's like, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, where would it be without the Holy Spirit?
That's right.
Dead.
That's right.
We'd be dead.
Yes.
And so when I look at like when I talk about my dad and how my dad's impacted my life, what my dad will tell you is, and had it not been for your mom, I would have run over my boys and I would have no relationship with them today. So I get up and I honor my dad, because my dad was the primary influence in my life. The older I got, as it should be, I think, fathers to sons. Moms raised them, or maybe the more primary input early on. Dad's off at work, they're at home with the children. But the older the kids go, specifically the sons, the more engaged and involved the dad needs to be, because there is a huge difference. I know families where one son was raised primarily by the dad, and then they kind of went off into the thing. And then the youngest son, who came quite a bit later, was primarily raised by the mother. Two sons, same family, very different men.
Yeah.
And it's not personality-wise. It's how they were shaped by their dads. So dads need to be engaged. But when I get up and say my dad's the most influential man in my life, the next sentence is, and he was a good influence because of the influence of my mom, right? And so my dad has told me 100 times, if it wasn't for your mom, I would have run over you boys, pushed you too hard, and we'd have no relationship to this day. So a strong man needs a noble woman, which is the ministry my wife leads.
That's great.
It needs a noble woman who can stand alongside him and keep up with him and help him to be a stronger man.
So the Hebrew word azer, I'm not telling you anything, you know.
Yeah,
The
no,
Hebrew
no.
word azer gets translated helper. It's used 21 times in the Old Testament, 16 times. It refers to God himself.
Yes.
Almost, this is so awesome. Almost exclusively in the context of warfare.
Yep.
So it's like the concept is necessary ally.
Yep.
He's the necessary ally without which they could not win the battle.
That's right.
So it's like, this is not diminishing. It's like, hey man, without her, you can't win. You can't fight for your family successfully. Now, obviously, there's grace for a single parent situation. That's not what we're saying. We're going to get into that later.
Yep.
But what we're saying is God designed it. We're like, hey, wives, mothers, you're the necessary ally without whom he can't win the battle.
Bro,
you're like,
let's go.
The analogy is you're God in that little.
Well, there's enough responsibility that God's assigned both to men and to women that if we elevated to, would keep us busy for a long time.
There you go.
But when we shuck those responsibilities and literally, like feminism is a result of the curse, right? We know that, right?
Genesis 3.
Genesis 3. Like you'll
desire against your husband.
You'll want to be. It's not you'll desire. Not that you'll desire him sexually. You'll want his job. You'll want his whatever. And so if a husband or wife, a stronger man, noble woman, if they fully consider the responsibility God's called them to step into, it'd keep you busy for a while.
Understatement.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, but what about? I want to be them. No, why don't you just try to carry the responsibility God's given you to carry? It'll keep you busy.
You're just fine.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I started here, a listener may be going, why are you talking about this? Well, when you're putting on a shirt, if you don't get the top button right, the rest of the shirt's in chaos. Hey guys, in the family, this is the top button.
Yeah.
Getting mom and dad right.
That's right.
Getting the marriage right.
That's
top
right.
button.
Yep.
So like, I would just say for some people listening, what probably needs to happen is like, you're a brand new Christian. This is all new, what we just said to you. Like, a gentle, loving, humble, repentant conversation probably needs to happen where it's like, oh man, like I haven't been fulfilling my role.
Yeah.
Let's do a hard reset.
Yes.
And hey, husband, I'm going to make some space for you to start leading the family and then, vice versa, into role. Yeah. So the reason I say that is let's start by getting the top button right so everything else can fall into order.
Yeah. And then to the husband who may not know, new to Jesus, following Jesus for the first time, been in Lake Point 3 weeks, or whatever it is, right? One of the signs of wisdom is that you, as the husband, as the head, as the leader, turn to your wife.
That's right, dude.
And you say, as the leader of our home, I'm asking you what you think we should do.
There you go. Don't be surprised when the helper starts helping.
Yeah, and then you engage the helper. And so, one of the reasons there's so much. There's been so much joy and peace in our home is I've had the sense to ask my wife, how we doing? What could I do better? How are the kids doing? What am I missing? What do you need from me? Are you feeling loved and cherished by me? Are the kids feeling my presence? Am I gone too much? Can I be? I mean, I'm just, and the wisdom and discernment and observations that come out of my wife then start calibrating my leadership. Oh man, I would have missed that. I hadn't heard that. Oh my gosh. And now I can adjust my leadership with her input. Now we're working as a team. So it's hard to talk about parenting without talking about marriage. My wife and I do.
That's why I started here.
A conference, a week conference. And the whole thing is designed to help couples understand that when you got married, it's no longer you or me, it's we. Mm-hmm. There is a new being birthed here, and it's not just a piece of paper or something being pronounced by the state or a pastor. In the spiritual realm, God is enacting a covenantal bond so that two are now one. Not like they're one, they are one. Yes. And you can't touch that oneness. You can't get at it. You can't. It's something that God does, but you can cultivate it.
That's right.
And you can protect it. And so what we teach is oneness is a fruit of unity. You can't do oneness. That's God's gift, but you can do unity. Mm-hmm. And so you get unity by learning to build agreements in every area of life: sexuality, finances, parenting. And then oneness gives you direction and purpose that you can live into to protect the unity that grows oneness. Now you can be on the same page when you come to your children, who, by the way, are continually taking pot shots at your unity.
Yeah.
right?
Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child.
Yeah. Who divided you, Satan? No,
My
Johnny.
Yeah.
Totally.
Dude, let me give 2 practical targets for guys trying to figure this out. So how do I do unity, and then how do I draw out her help? 2 things have been helpful for me,
Yeah.
and then let's move into the parenting stuff.
Okay.
Jana and I, we literally take a nightly walk. We put the kids down to bed. We've
Yeah.
got video thing that goes to our phone, so it's like, don't freak out on me.
Yeah.
CPS.
Yeah.
We put the kids down to bed. We got video that goes to our phone. We take a nightly walk every single night, 1.6 miles.
Yeah.
And that's most of the walk is me processing with Jana what I'm seeing, thinking, feeling.
Yep.
I'm getting her feedback.
Yep.
So the head is going, hey, helper,
Yep.
would you please help me?
Totally.
What are you seeing? And then that's where we're getting unity.
Yep.
And this is a little hack I got years ago on
Okay.
date nights about once a month. Dude, this is great.
Yeah.
On date nights about once a month, we ask each other the
leaning in
question.
here.
This is
I'm gonna
great.
write
This is
this down.
great.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is money.
Yeah.
Because it cuts through, it diffuses conflict and emotion. We ask each other the question, what are 3 ways I've been blessing you? And then what's 1 way I could bless you more? So what happens
Keeps it all
is,
positive.
bro, it keeps it all
Yeah,
positive.
yeah,
And
yeah.
before
That's
I
good.
hear anything that could even be interpreted as a corrective,
Yeah.
I just got like my cup filled by 3 ways that you're
crushing
awesome.
it.
You're so awesome.
It's a testimony to the fragility of our ego.
Yes. So I just like, if you're a dude, and you're trying, how do I do this?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are like little practical things
Yeah.
been helpful for me.
And what you're pointing out that I love is you're inviting that. When men don't walk in wisdom, they stop receiving counsel.
Nabal.
And so if you're making it hard for your wife to be a helper, that's on you.
Yeah,
that's not her.
right.
And so what you're doing there with that hack is you're inviting the wisdom of your wife, and you're also saying, because one of the errors that we see sometimes in well, I'll say complementarianism, big fancy phrase, who cares, is that the wife like, that's his problem.
Yeah.
He's the head,
bro.
And then they check out.
That's a form of abdication.
It's 1,000% failure in their role to help. Like the husband will only succeed to the degree you're helping.
Yeah.
And so what it does when a husband takes initiative, which, I mean, just look at some biology. That's how we were wired. We were wired as the initiators. When the husband takes initiative with the wife, it tells the wife, you're valued, I love you, and you're needed. And it signals to her, and you need to be paying attention because I need your observations.
Right.
So there's a lot of wisdom in that hack. Well done, man.
And let's start getting into some parenting stuff. So just to clarify something based on what Josh said a few minutes ago, what he's not saying is that it's a sin for a woman or a wife or a mother to work outside the home. Proverbs 31 obviously describes the ideal woman. She's doing some stuff in the marketplace.
Yep.
So the phrase and if you disagree with it, that's okay. The phrase I like to use is, hey man, a wife and a mother's place doesn't have to be the home. Her priority does.
That's
the
good.
priority.
Yeah, I like that.
So whatever I'm doing, I'm going back here.
Yep.